Hello, and thank you for acquiring a ticket to experience this concert of the Symphonic Wind Ensemble. I'm Glenn C. Hayes, and I'm honored to serve as their conductor. I want to give you a little context for what you're about to see and experience. Wind Ensemble was very different this semester. As there was no marching band, I offered membership to this group without audition to any music major, and several non-music majors entered it by audition. Because of the limits imposed by COVID, and we chose to follow voluntarily the standards of the American Federation of Musicians and the Johns Hopkins recommendations, far beyond CDC. We kept players 9 feet apart left-right and 15 feet between rows. Every player was required to have a performer's mask and a bell cover. It was quite a challenge. Their hearing had to change dramatically. Being that far apart had never occurred in any of their ensemble experiences. Intonation, phrasing, balance, etc. It was tough. We were allowed 25 wind players on the stage and no more than 5 percussionists on the stage at any given time. I am so proud of these young people. They made it work. They made it work incredibly well. And I am so thankful to the following people who made it possible for us to be able to function this semester. We have to start with Interim Associate Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Kristen Plessel. Kristen, who has a million things going on because of her role on campus and being a mom of young children and actively involved in her own community, read countless research studies, communicated with us tirelessly, and worked diligently to make certain our students could receive the experience of music they so desperately needed. That sense of community, that sense of belonging, that sense of everybody gets it, and I need to be a part of this. So, Kristen Plessel, thank you so much. Dean Eileen Hayes, who approved the purchase of the performers' masks and bell covers, but also was an unrelenting supporter for all of our ensembles this semester to help us try and find a way to make it happen. To my chair, Dr. Michael Dugan, who initiated the purchase and first approval for the performance masks and bell covers, and was also an incredibly wise sage and counsel to yours truly during some rather frustrating times. Kat Bastine was our administrative departmental assistant who, within, I swear, 5 minutes of getting approval to order the masks and bell covers for our students, did so with the company, was promised they'd be here in 3 weeks, and it took 8. She was doggedly determined, yet ultimately professional, as she always is, to deal with outside vendors, but also to take care of our students. Hans Pregler and his staff at the Young Auditorium, who made it possible for us to rehearse. Without Young Auditorium, we would not be functioning. So, Hans and crew, thank you so much. And I want to send a shout out to Audra Lang, who is the publicity person, marketing person, seems to be videographer and anything else. I think it's called duties as assigned. Audra, you've been a godsend to come in and record these concerts for both us and the symphony orchestra and the choirs and just everyone, spending countless hours helping our students to do what they love to do, and that's perform in the musical setting. So, Audra, thank you so much. I also want to thank those of you that are watching this because you make it possible. We have scholarship donors, we have ticket sales, etc. But you are the ones for whom we gather, we work, we go through crazy situations. We ask our students to do absolutely insane things. And they come through. They come through because of what the art form gives to them. And they come through because they know and believe that people believe in them, which you do. So sit back and truly, I hope you enjoy this performance of the UW-Whitewater Symphonic Wind Ensembles. Canzona was commissioned in 1950 by the great band director Edwin Franco Goldman. He believed in the future of the concert band in the United States, and so he wanted to seek outstanding composers of the time and commission them to write original works. It was also in 1950 that Peter Mennin, the composer of this piece, was the runner-up for the Pulitzer Prize in Music. He was born Peter Mennin in 1923 in Erie, Pennsylvania. He chose the title Canzona as homage to the late Renaissance instrumental forms of that name. Canzoni were particularly popular with Giovanni Gabrieli, who used the acoustics of the Cathedral of St. Mark in Venice to provide contrasting antiphonal statements from opposing brass voices. Mennin introduced that same polyphony into his composition, Canzona, and combined it with modern harmony and structure. Woodwinds and brass alternately reinforce and complement each other. Not only was Mennin a prominent composer and teacher, he was also an exceptional administrator. In 1958, he became the director of the Peabody Conservatory, and 4 years later, he became the president of the Juilliard School, a position he held until his death in 1983. It was under his leadership that Juilliard moved from Claremont Avenue to the present location at Lincoln Center, and he is responsible for the addition of drama and dance at the Juilliard School. Born in 1962 in Brooklyn, New York, Jennifer Higdon decided to learn the flute at the age of 15 and was self-taught. At the age of 18, she matriculated to Bowling Green State University to start her formal music studies. At that time, I was the assistant director of bands at Bowling Green State University. I got to know this wonderfully introspective, compassionate, and very creative flute player. At the age of 21, her composition studies began, and as they say, the rest is history. She has received the Pulitzer Prize in Music, 3 Grammy Awards, and is one of the most performed living composers in the American orchestral scene. Mysterium was written to evoke the feelings of the mystery of music and its impact on us. Here is Mysterium by Jennifer Higdon. Our next selection is Divertimento by the great American composer Vincent Persichetti. It was premiered by the Goldman Band in June of 1950. Obviously, it was a very good year for band music in 1950. And Persichetti conducted. I want to read to you something that Persichetti wrote in an article in 1981 about this composition. I soon realized the strings weren't going to enter, and my divertimento began to take shape. Many people call this ensemble band. I know that composers are often frightened away by the sound of the word band because of certain qualities long associated with this medium: rusty trumpets, consumptive flutes, wheezy oboes, disintegrating clarinets, fumbling yet amiable baton wavers, and gum-coated park benches. If you couple these conditions with transfigurations and disfigurations of works originally conceived for orchestra, you create a sound experience that's as nearly excruciating as a sick string quartet playing a dilettante's arrangement of a 19th century piano sonata. When composers think of the band as a huge, supple ensemble of winds and percussion, the obnoxious fat will drain off and creative ideas will flourish. Well, Vincent Persichetti had a lot of creative ideas, and many of them are found in one of the great masterworks for band, his Divertimento. Do enjoy. Born and raised in Wisconsin, Roland Moehlmann was hired to be the instrumental music education specialist in the Cedar Rapids School District in 1929. In the early 30s, he began to transcribe preludes and fugues written by Bach and other works by Bach for the wind band for his group to perform. He was the founding conductor of the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band, which was famous throughout the United States from 1951 to 1967. This transcription of the fifth of the 8 short preludes and fugues, BWV 557, was originally in the key of G, but for some reason, which we do not know why, he moved it up a minor second to A flat, maybe thinking it would be easier for bands to play in A flat than in G. We have discovered that this work could have also been written by Johann Krebs or his son. Neither way, it's remarkably enjoyable and fulfilling music. The Prelude and Fugue in A flat. If given a quiz to ask a list of the top names you are aware of American composers, Robert Ward might not be on that list. Yet he is a Pulitzer Prize winner for his opera based on Arthur Miller's book, The Crucible, in 1962. Robert Ward had a long, distinguished career in composition. His pedigree of studies with famous names and his emulation of them is quite long. He wrote his 4 abstracts for band as a commission, but he used his love of abstract expressionist painting to inspire this piece. The second movement we will be performing is titled Color Masses and Luminous Lines in Dark Blue. If you enjoy the paintings of Klee and Kandinsky and find them intellectually fascinating as well as moving in their own right, I know you will enjoy this work by Robert Ward. One of the great joys of my position here at UW-Whitewater is seeing incredibly dedicated, gifted, hardworking individuals come in at the age of 18 and leave us at the age of 22 or 23, having devoted themselves to improving and growing deeper as a musician and a person. At the last concert of any semester, we always honor those for whom this is their last performance in the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, for either graduation or student teaching. We have 4 such individuals to honor at this time. Gabrielle Bolt is actually a saxophonist, but is incredibly gifted also as a bassoonist. And she joined Wind Ensemble this year and has been a huge factor in doing great work for us. So, Gabby, thank you. Angela Jacoby has served as principal alto saxophone. She played the bass sax for those of you that saw the Carnegie Hall concert or the pre-concert, and has always been just, how can I help? What can I do? This was her year to be the senior drum major for the Warwick Marching Band as well. So, Angela, You have done a great job of preparing those behind you. You've missed opportunities you deserved and earned, but you have been resilient and never once have I heard you complain. So thank you. Adrian Pierce. Adrian's been a section leader in the Warwick Marching Band, a principal in the Symphonic Wind Ensemble, was also part, like Angela, of the group that went to Carnegie Hall and did a great job there, and is just such an amiable person. Adrian's someone that you know when people interact with him throughout the rest of his life, they will leave better people, and they will leave their interaction with him with a smile on their face, because he's just that sort of a soul. Adrian's receiving his BA in music and will be going out into what many of us call the real world. So Adrian, also, thank you so much. Last and certainly not least, particularly by size of instrument, Nathan Rowley. Nathan Rowley has distinguished himself on our campus as both a principal tuba in the Symphonic Wind Ensemble and the orchestra, a section leader in the Warwick Marching Band, and an incredibly fine tenor in our vocal jazz ensemble and other vocal groups. He's going to be student teaching along with Angela, and there are, like all of them, great things destined for these four. Nathan's going to have a phenomenal impact on so many lives through music. If you know Nathan, his compassion for the art form, his desire to pass on the love of music is extraordinary. So Nathan, thank you. All four of you will be sorely missed, but I am so grateful that you chose UW-Whitewater to come and share your gifts and share your laughs and so many other aspects of life. It has been a true honor, and I look forward to many future years of knowing you and following your various careers. Thank you all. Our final selection is the second movement of Dragon Rhyme by Chen Yi. Chen Yi is an award-winning composer born in China. Her parents were very talented. They were doctors and musicians. She grew up with a musical family. Everyone was a player, and she was a child prodigy. And then this thing called the Cultural Revolution happened in 1966, and Western attitudes were kicked out. So instead of playing Bach and Mozart, she learned the culture of the Chinese people. She learned the folk songs. She learned the art forms and the various styles therein. When things finally passed, she was able to continue her Western art music tradition and is one of the outstanding composers of our time. She teaches at the University of Missouri, Kansas City Conservatory. But we chose this piece for many reasons. Not the least of which, to be honest, is it shows resilience. The resilience of getting through a hard time, of when your life is completely disrupted and you have no control over it. Chen Yi showed us how to handle this. Stay true to her art form, our art form. Make the best of it. How to grow, how to embody music, which does more for us than we have any right to ask for. It just seemed poignant at this time to perform a work by someone who has been through that sort of experience. As these students who are graduating and those who are still in the group and will be back next year will continue to do, they will be the light. The art form is in good hands. It will continue and will only get stronger and more emotive powers granted to it. Please enjoy Dragon Rhyme by Chen Yi. Thank you so much for spending more time in front of your screen and sharing the music of these incredible young people. Thank you.